He is styling Grace with cakes, cutting into fashion, music, the culture. Today's very special guest was my girl, Caroline Bentley Noble. And don't forget Jasper Beans is in the building too. Yeah, let's go. Bam. Coming in today. I'm so excited to have you today. I'm gonna get right into it. I'm loving the outfit.
Thank you.
Talk to me about it. Let's start with the boots. What you got going on?
Tim's, we just got over some snow here in New York, so I had to go with the gray and throw some baby blue laces in it, because why not, Have to switch something, I can't just take it as it is,
I love
it. The pants are just a small brand from Santee Alley in LA, actually, so sometimes I don't always wear my own stuff. I do have on a shirt that I just made, R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle the Great.
Yes, rest in peace, Nipsey.
Must support. And then this is Gallery Department, which is just a brand that I love and aspire to be like.
Okay.
I feel like if I got it on, I can, make it happen.
Love it. And the hat, very cute.
Thank you. I found from Etsy, I think. Just a random brand. I love supporting smaller.
I love it. That's what this is all about. And can we talk about Jasper's outfit? I feel like me and Jasper are twinning right now.
Yes, absolutely. So I also make dog stuff.
Okay.
So he has on a little sky blue bandana collar with just a little, basic brown hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
And we have him in a little babushka because we knew we were coming to see you today. This is my baby.
I love it. Well, you know what? Today I had the honor of getting styled by Caroline. So let's talk about my fit right now. Talk about it.
Yes. So these are some black bandana socks. We had to. It's just a must.
Yeah.
And then we got it paired with the black bandana button up. A little oversized. We like everything big, swaggy, comfortable. We have her in the black bandana shorts, which is one of my staple items. Probably one of my best sellers at the moment. And then to top it off, we have my new little couture bandana, and we're wearing it as a head wrap today, because, that's what we have to do.
That's the drip. That's the drip. All right. All right, so Caroline, you're from Kentucky. How the hell did you end up in New York?
Yeah, so I actually, after high school, I graduated high school early because I knew I wanted to be an actress. So I moved to Atlanta, saved my money, and I knew that I wanted to go to an acting school in New York. So when I moved to Atlanta for a year, worked, saved my money, and then moved myself up here to Brooklyn. And that's how I got to New York initially.
Okay, how long have you been living out here?
So I stayed here for 3 years for school, and then I ended up moving to LA for 4, and then I just moved back to New York last March. So I'll be back for a year now.
Nice, I love it. We love you here.
Thank you.
You already know that.
Thank you. I couldn't stay away. New York pulls you back when you need it. So.
That's a fact. So, Caroline, when would you say your love for fashion began? Because it sounds like you really loved acting at first.
Yeah.
How did you switch over?
So, I grew up. I was raised by my grandparents, and I grew up. We had a sewing room in our house, and my grandmother making pillowcases and name it, she was making it, or baby clothes, anything from clothes for my dolls, everything. So I grew up around it, but didn't really. I of course didn't want to do that because that's not cool at that time. And then I ended up moving to LA after school. And I've always collected vintage pieces and oversized. I've always dressed kind of oversized, and I shopped at Goodwill, in Kentucky, even though my friends were kind of not into that. So I've always had an eclectic taste. And then when I moved to LA, I started actually making these hand-painted swimsuits. And that kind of got noticed by the Kardashians. And so I ended up gifting them a rack of clothes, which was painted swimsuits. I ripped t-shirts in crazy ways and stuff. And they ended up wearing it. It was in Vogue the next day.
What?
So I was and this is more of just a hobby, passion project for me at that time. But when that happened,
how long ago was that? I'm sorry.
That was, I want to say 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so that happened, and I was I guess I gotta start a business now because this is a thing that you could do, I guess. So I'm super grateful for them, just wearing the thing because they liked it, and then that kind of led me to just start growing and exploring fashion and taking sewing lessons and trying to figure out how to. I started with a lot of reconstruction. I did taking a denim jacket and adding patches, or taking a t-shirt and making it look different, cutting it in half, whatever. So yeah, that was, I would say, the beginning of it. It was a hobby turned into a job.
I definitely relate. I definitely relate.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So after that, after getting recognition from the Kardashians, what was your next step? When did you realize, okay,
It's go time.
It's go time.
So first things was like, I gotta make a website. I gotta make sure that people know that when they see the specific design that's in vogue, that where can I purchase it? And I gotta figure out, like my mind just kind of started turning, and I had never made a Shopify before, but shout out to Shopify because their platform is super user-friendly and convenient and makes it easy for you to be able to, put something online for sale. And they have really good customer service. Shout out to Shopify. But they help you with everything. So everything I was giving them, I was getting extras and putting it online for sale and taking orders for in a made-to-order basis sometimes.
I was gonna ask, what was the orders looking like?
Yeah, it was made to order. So we were so lucky to not, have to be able to go buy hundreds of an item because everything was hand, distressed or custom made in some capacity. We were able to do a made to order situation, which was really cool, and our customers were really patient, and they have a great following. So it was a beautiful process.
That's amazing. How fast were you? What was the turnaround time looking like?
Turnaround times, I feel like we were pretty good. We were getting them out in 1 to 2 weeks.
Nice, that's pretty good.
We were not sleeping a lot.
So you said who's your team?
Yeah. So at that time, I actually had a business partner, and so this was my first brand called B2 Bentley, and I had that with another girl. So I was able to work. It was just me and her.
I remember that.
Yeah, working on everything, and that was great. But then we just ended up parting ways. It wasn't going how it should. So I decided to take over V2 Bentley, and now I have someone else, a third-party company, run it for me. So I still do little one-on-ones here and there, but I decided to have my new fashion baby called Avenue C.
Shout out to Avenue C.
Yeah, she pulled back up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I started making bandana face masks in the crib during the pandemic.
That went crazy.
Yeah, because I was, giving them out and everything, and coincidentally, a design from B2 Bentley about, 5 years ago, I made a surgical face mask for Rihanna at Coachella.
Okay.
So it was bandana with these beautiful curls on it. Yeah. So I was and I still actually happen to have the fabric and stuff, so I started making a few of those too, again in the pandemic. So I was wow, I've kind of done a face mask before. This is wildly coincidental, I guess.
Yeah.
So I started with the face mask and then just grew it into bandana shorts. It takes 6 bandanas to make a pair of shorts.
Okay.
In case you're wondering. So then just started growing it into shorts, and then once those kind of took off, we were outside this summer, and all the homies were supporting, and they liked the design, and I'm so thankful and honored that they were supportive of me in such a way, and I was able to actually start a business during this time. So
I loved it.
Yeah.
So can you give us a quick little list of all the people that have been Avenue C dripped out?
Yeah. Okay. It's really hard for me to do that sometimes, but let me
give me a top 5.
Okay, let me see. Well, I have my boy Greg Una, was one of my first supporters, a big homie. He showed a lot of love. We got Joey Badass. We got Nigel Sylvester. We got James Harden. We got Terry Rozier. Who else? The Game.
YG.
We got YG too, yes.
So with the list is, you know what I'm saying? My girl's not playing. She's here for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. What could you tell an upcoming brand? What kind of advice could you give them if they're trying to get that type of look? Because that's a very major look. Those are people that really have a fan base. So
no, for sure. I think my advice is just to stay creative. Don't think so much about who's gonna wear it. Or do think about them, keep them in mind while you're creating, but stay true to the product that you're making. I don't do things for no reason. There is a reason for everything that I make. There's a thought pattern. There's a whole story behind it, and I think that that's what draws these people to my product naturally, is because I can speak about it in a way, and they it might also just be fly, which is kind of cool, but no, stay true to who you are and what you want to create, and it will hit. It'll stick. You can't the truth. You can't go too far from the truth. You know what I mean? So that's probably what I would say.
So how would you say music influences your style?
Ooh. To the core of who I am, it influences me. I love Kehlani so much. Her albums, her mixtapes have gotten me through everything. My most creative moments are me by myself, Kehlani loud as fuck, creating. Thinking, whether it's putting lyrics, embroidery onto my jean string from her song, whether it's that. But so yeah, music absolutely 100% influences everything I do.
Jasper, my baby Jasper. Can we make him?
We can make him sing.
Can we make him sing? How do we do
Yes.
this?
Okay, he's a singer.
That was amazing, Jasper. So, Caroline,
Yes.
what artists would you say really influenced your style?
Rihanna.
Rihanna?
Absolutely.
Why?
Fearless. She's like the definition of just like a fearless, badass boss woman who like does whatever she wants to do on her own terms, and she does not apologize for that. And we're here for that, and we love it, and we need more of it.
Yes.
And she is it.
I love it. I agree.
Yeah.
Like you said it perfect. She's fearless.
Yeah.
When you reached that level that you had, so many people reaching out to you, celebrities, and business was really booming, how did you balance being creative, staying creative, and taking care of business? Like, what were those steps like?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely had to take some time away at a certain point and like kind of step back and re-ask myself why I was doing what I was doing, and just take some space to really like check in with myself, because that you can definitely get like lost in the sauce, as they say, to a certain extent. And I think that's like I always try to keep a delicate balance between those two things. So yeah, I took a step back and I moved to Atlanta for a second, for like a couple months, and I just got a little locked down there, painted the whole thing, and just got like really like deep, like head down creative, which has kind of always been my go-to strong suit, is like just fucking like outwork everybody else. Like there's no one can say anything crazy to you if you work fucking harder than them. So like to me there was like that Will Smith quote where he's like if I'm on a treadmill and I'm racing somebody else, like the only person that's gonna lose is gonna be him, because I'm never gonna get off. Like I'll die on the treadmill type shit. So like I feel like when you're tapped in enough to know like what you love to do and how bad you fucking want it, like you're gonna work just as hard to get that, no matter what it takes. But don't be scared to like demand that for yourself and to try to do that if you can.
Facts.
It's that kind of vibe.
I agree. I think everybody reaches a point where they're like ready to give up, or something bad happens somewhere in the process. What were those bumps like for you?
I mean, they're hard. That shit sucks. Like so many times, and it's there's so much loneliness that comes within when you're pursuing something that not everyone else around you is doing. I love you, but please don't like me like that. His breath is so bad. Yeah, those moments, I mean, just truly they suck. But I have really, really good friends, and I was so lucky to have great mentors and people that I could call and cry to, and that would listen to me and push me to keep going, and remind me who I am and I forgot. So yeah, I think having a support system, if you don't have that one naturally with your family, like finding a support system around you and being open to that existing in other spaces, and like meeting new people and things like that, because I left Kentucky at such a young age and moved around, and I'm not scared to move around. I would always encourage like other people to adapt that mindset if they want to, because you never know. You can find family and friends in so many ways, and I definitely got so and there's so much beauty in that. Like, to me, that's like what it's about. So yeah.
So let's switch it up real quick. You recently just did your own sneaker.
Yes.
Talk about it.
Okay, yes. So shout out to Asia Irving, my queen, my heart and soul. She's such a beautiful person. She actually asked me. She picked 5 designers to design her brother Kyrie Irving's Nike 7 sneaker, and I was one of the creatives that she picked. So I got to design my own Kyrie 7, which is so
Amazing.
awesome. You can buy it on Nike.com right now.
Yes.
Yes, and I went with like my favorite color palette at the moment, which is red and turquoise, and I just did an all red and turquoise shoe. And yeah, so that's my first like sneaker design, I guess, if you will, and I hope it's not the last. I definitely have dreams of like fashion vibes, you know, getting my own shoe one day or like, you know, something like that. So just putting that out there.
Okay, listen, this is what
Gotta start somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
manifest is starting right here.
Yeah.
So what kind of sneaker would you like, all right, somebody called you tomorrow, you could design any type of sneaker, what you aiming for?
I'm going with the one right now.
Yeah?
I'm going with the one. I love it.
You
I love
can't
the
go
one.
wrong with the one.
You can't. It's like a stable. It's fucking fly. I love the way it looks on. I love the high and low. I'm gonna go with the one. And then after that, I would go with an 11. Only because 11 was my favorite, like growing up, and like I had every single one. So an 11 or a 1.
How's your sneaker game looking?
My sneaker game is looking cool. I cleaned house a little bit this last year during pandemic. You know, you're moving around, you're trying to figure out, and I wanted to kind of really simplify my wardrobe and not have so much stuff in general.
Yeah. So what's your top, like your favorite sneaker that you own right now?
Favorite sneaker that I own right now is the Off-White 4s. I love them. Shout out to Virgil. He does his thing always. We love it, and I actually cut the top off mine because, you know, I had to like change the thing in some way, but the designer in me couldn't like not. So, but he actually wrote back and was like, they're made for walking. So shout out to V for that, and that's definitely my favorite shoe right now.
Would you say he's one of your inspirations? Like what? Give me a few.
Absolutely. Virgil Abloh is a pioneer in the game, and I'm so blessed to have encountered him as a young New Yorker. You know, running around with him and just seeing how he moves like really inspired me. Never took no for an answer. Paved down, you know, knocked down doors that made doors where there weren't even doors into places, and I'm so glad to see someone like him in such a like amazing Parisian fashion house doing the things he's doing, opening the lanes for so many more people. So he's absolutely an inspiration in every sense of the word.
One more.
As well as who else? Vashti.
Okay.
Have to shout out Vashti. She's a queen and a freaking entrepreneur and I think she's a mom now, so even better.
Shout out to her.
I know, shout out to just womanhood in general.
Yeah, man, we outside, we killing it right now. Like we have 2 women entrepreneurs here just trying to help, you know, the next generation, get some gems and stuff like that. If you could style anybody right now, who would you want to style?
Rihanna.
Yeah, besides Rihanna. She's definitely like...
Oh, okay, Beyonce.
Okay.
Beyonce or Pharrell.
Okay, that would be dope.
Yeah, I want to create some custom stuff for B, and I would like to have a conversation with Pharrell and then create something for him.
Nice, I love it. So, Caroline, what are some of your favorite brands at the moment that you enjoy wearing? Some streetwear brands or, you know?
Who do I love right now? I love Gallery Department.
Okay, why?
Because they're swaggy. They have great washes. They're doing nice quality. They're reworking. I love any brand who reworks vintage and is like repurposing materials. I think that's something that's a trend in fashion that's not going anywhere. That's going to be here to stay, and I love that. Sustainability is important to me as well. I definitely like incorporate that into my own practices as much as I can. I'm not trying to be a fast fashion brand because that contributes quite a bit of pollution to the world. So that's a whole conversation. But anyway, so we love Gallery Department. They're doing like high-end reconstruction, and the whole vibe of their stuff is amazing. I love actually Wild Things. Is a fellow Kentuckian, with Jerron. He just did this like fire tie-dye sweatsuit that I actually placed on Terry Rozier. Because I really love to support especially, I'm from Kentucky, and right now there's like a cool creative wave of some young kids that are doing some things. So I love Wild Things. Who else do I love?
Do you have any other, are you in tune with anybody else in Kentucky, that you would maybe collab with? Or?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty good friends with Zaza.
Okay.
All her parents. But little Zaza, I've created some stuff for her, and it's been such a joy to watch her grow up and be the little sassy little girl that her and her little sister are. So I made some stuff. I was actually on one of her she wore a jacket I made on her single cover. So that was cool. So yeah, definitely always keeping in a house. We also have Jack Harlow. Just dropped his album. Shout out to him. He's doing his thing. That's all, family business as well. Like, it's just really nice to see like creatives from Kentucky really like teaming up and working together, and we'll all link up and build, I'm sure, very, very soon.
So how do you, what made you pick the style that you kind of work with? Because you work heavily with like bandanas and patterns, so what kind of made you take that route?
I mean, honestly, Paisley's just been such a, over time and throughout the course of history, Paisley's a very prominent print, so that means so many different things to so many different people. And I mean, I remember growing up and seeing my mom had vintage Ralph pieces that were, it was a red bandana wrap skirt. So I think we also had even bed sheets or something. So growing up seeing it, created a level of familiarity with it, and then I don't know, it's fly to me.
Yeah, I want to get into the bag real quick.
Yeah. So I actually I decided I was gonna just take bandana print to the moon.
Look at Jasper. Show the bag. Jasper.
Oh man, she's a little warm. So yeah, I decided I was just gonna take bandana print to the moon. So I actually got my own bandana print made, and then this is one of my leather bags.
Okay.
I wanted I just want to take it all the way, I want to take it as high as I can take it.
And we also seen the bandana heels. Are you into girl, I'm tapped in. I want to know everything. Are you interested in making heels? What else?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't want to put a limit on what I'm able to do ever. Shoes are definitely a different beast. That is a different production situation. That's a whole different thing that I'm gonna have to study and educate myself more on. But I'm absolutely interested in taking it. Definitely some bandana slides, some bandana, maybe some painted bandana Birkenstocks or something might be happening soon. So yeah.
I just want to give another shout out because there was one photo shoot I did and I was dripped out with the Louis Vuitton silk top button up and the pants, and everybody went crazy when we did that. So another shout out for you.
Thank you. Yeah, we just try to stay innovative, and I think that's what it's about. Dressing your friends and keeping your friends fly, and it'll resonate. It works. When you're doing it out of love and creativity, and we all link together.
All right, so Caroline, what are some things that might construct to your style? It doesn't have to be just clothing. It could be accessories, furniture, whatever.
I'm definitely I'm big on smells. Smells really inform a lot of what I do and how I move, and they can relax me or take me back to a place. So I really, really like my perfumes. I like my candles. I like my Palo Santo. I like my incense. You're always gonna walk into Avenue C and have a fire candle burning, an incense burning in the back. Palo Santo or sage has been burned in the morning probably. So that's definitely smell very much informs what I do. As well as I think another really important thing mental game wise is working out. For me, that's been a huge thing. Just making sure that I can try to break a sweat a couple times a week, just to I don't know. For me, that's it's so good for my mental clarity and just to make myself feel better and try to stay in shape. So those are definitely two things I feel like.
I'm sure that all affects the process.
Yeah, of course.
If you're not feeling right, you're not gonna
make something. You're not gonna make some cool stuff. So you gotta make sure you're taking care of yourself and that kind of thing. It's big for me. That's right.
I got one more thing before we get out of here, Caroline. What's some advice that you wanna share with young entrepreneurs, young creatives that someone probably gave you that you'll never forget and you want other people to know?
Don't forget who you are and why you do what you do. Because the moment that you don't have clarity on those things, you're opening up so many avenues to I don't know, potentially do things you might not mean to do, or create things, or spread energy in a way that wasn't what you intended potentially. So I think just making sure that you stay true to who you are and why you do what you do, no matter what that is. And I think, and to have people around you to help you do that, So if you're in a situation where it doesn't feel right, it's not right, you're being influenced to do something else, then just leave, because you could do that, So whether that's a personal relationship or a group of friends or your friends at college or a job, exactly, there's ways to, of course, go about it in the most respectful way possible, but never being scared to maintain who you are and why you're doing what you're doing, and being stand solid in that ground. I think that's pretty
What are some of your accessories that sometimes you feel like you can't leave the house without?
Ooh, my accessories. Definitely my water drip necklace.
Okay.
This is Greg Yuna on the chain, but this is my first like diamond that I've ever had. And it's a drop of water, which is very much on brand for me. Fluidity in forms, yeah, exactly. My drip, fluidity in life and everything. So definitely, this doesn't leave my neck. And then definitely some of my bracelets. Like since the pandemic started, I actually started making like friendship bracelets for everybody, like on the block on Orchard, like where we were just outside working, and everyone from the workers at all the restaurants to like everyone, and then people started asking me to make them. I started like selling them because why not? So I kind of always have some like wrist candy going on right now. And then I have my grandma's baby rollie. Ooh. Which is like a gift, and I feel like her when I wear it, so I try to usually wear that if I can. Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't get into this earlier. How does it feel to have your own shop? Like you just got your own store, Avenue C in New York City. Like, how is it?
It's really exciting. Like honestly, it's probably one of the coolest things I think I've ever done, maybe. It's a dream come true. Like I get to employ some young ladies who are absolutely amazing, and I'm so proud of them, and they're helping me keep it afloat, and I get to, now I get to have a space where I can interact with my friends and my clients and customers, and I'm learning so much about retail in general, because I never worked in a retail space before. So yeah, it's an absolute dream come true, and like very exciting and terrifying at the same time.
What was that process like? Was it like?
It was very last minute, just like a kind of quick decision, but I tend to make decisions like that a lot of the time. I'm very impulsive, and I'm very like, if I decide I want something, I'm gonna just do it and not think too much about the repercussions, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. Yes, exactly. But I'm gonna choose to say it's a gift in this situation now. Yeah, and I don't know, I just decided it was a pandemic, so rent prices are lower, you can get more flexible leases. I really appreciate my realtor company for giving me a flexible situation, like to the degree of like, hey, if this isn't working out in 4 months, you can go. We're not gonna charge you, nothing like that. So I got really lucky to be like in that situation where so many things in New York are closing down. They also need somebody to just step in and give what they can. So
amazing.
That was
Caroline, I love you.
I love you too.
One more toast before you head on out of here. Thank you so much for coming to Styling Grace.
Thank you for having me. I love it here.
It's a wrap. Until next time, y'all. We out of here, Jasper.
Say bye, Beans.
Say bye.
If only